Hi, and welcome to GLP's 10 out of 10. And today we're chatting with British designer Tom Campbell. Tom is a multi-award winning lighting and production designer with a 15-year career in the entertainment industry, spanning theatre, festivals, television, and music. He works out of the acclaimed design house, Murad, and Tom has developed visual spectaculars for some of the most unique and revolutionary artists touring today, including 30 Seconds to Mars, The Amazons, Zeds Dead, John Grant, Carnival, Saint Etienne, Bullet For My Valentine, and Carter The Rattlesnakes. Tom's based out of the UK and has twice been awarded Knight of Illumination swords. Firstly, for his work with Anna Calvi and the London Heritage Orchestra, and more recently for his work on Nick Mulvey's Wake Up Now tour. Earlier this year, Tom was also recognised by the Total Production International magazine in their TPI Awards, being shortlisted for Lighting Designer of the Year. Tom approaches every design with the passion and imagination that has earned him a reputation as one of the leading innovators in his field, and is always open to new projects with artists who want to push boundaries and captivate audiences like never before. Welcome, Mr. Tom Campbell.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Well, we're doing well, thanks. All things considered.
Yeah.
All things considered. So, Tom, obviously you've got a long career already established. What was your first show as a designer?
So I was working on theatre shows, essentially calling follow spots and loading trucks, and all of a sudden this opportunity to light a Led Zeppelin tribute band popped up, and I was just starting to get a little bit fed up with it, and I was like, you know what, I would like to take it. The money was nowhere near what I was on in the theatre world, but this was a turning point. I was 19 at the time. I was like, this is what I want to be going to do, so let's just give it a chance. So I ended up lighting a Led Zeppelin tribute band called Live Zeppelin. It was really fun. It's basically how I learned the lighting desk. It's how I learned most of the basic skills I still use today. You know what I mean? It's how to follow a drummer, how the drummer is the backbone of most rock bands, and yeah, it was great.
That's brilliant. So since then, and thinking up to today, you know, we're asking everybody, what was your Spinal Tap moment? I'm sure, you know, over 15 years there's been a number of good stories that have come up, but was there one that always sticks in your mind? What's the one that you're willing to tell us? I'm sure there's plenty that you don't want to tell us, but what's the one that you'll share?
There's one that I'm a very good sound engineer friend of mine, Stuart Avis, will never let me forget. So that's the one I'm going to have to tell you. It's so I was on tour with a band called Devil Sold His Soul, who are quite a heavy metal band. It was actually around the same sort of time as the Live Zeppelin thing. It kind of overlapped, and it was back in the day where I still wasn't touring a lighting desk, so we were relying on the house lighting desks. And we were somewhere in Germany, and the rig had to be split up into two different consoles. It was like an MA Light Commander or something like that. So I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm a little bit vertically challenged, so I had to stand on a box at the back of this club so I could see over the crowd. In my inexperience, both the desks were still on their wheels on the flight cases. So as the show went, they kind of started creeping further and further apart. And at one point, I went to go and grab on the desk. I wasn't paying attention, or I was enjoying the music too much, and I fell right between them into Stuart Avis, the audio engineer in front of me. So and all I remember is just getting up and he's pissing himself laughing.
Right. So over the years then, what's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of advice, and you still get advice today, and I'll never not listen to the advice, but the one piece that stands out, again, it's back in my theatre days. One of the stage manager called Rick Kavanagh, just basically when I was young, you could maybe saw I was potentially a bit of a live cannon, or I don't know, but he basically told me to respect the local crew, because next time you come round, they're going to remember you. And if you are being a dick to them, and I assumed the reason he was giving me this advice was I was being a dick to them, or he saw potential there, let's put it that way. So yeah, I would respect the local crew. They're humans, they're all trying to do the same thing. There shouldn't be a hierarchy. All we're doing is loading lights in. If they've done a good job, if you can, make sure you leave some beer for them. And next time you come back through that venue, they're going to remember that. And those little favours you ask that might be a little bit pushing the boundary out will just get done. straight away. Just showing respect to your fellow crew is just. Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying, but it was the best bit of advice I've ever been given. Yeah. And luckily, it was given to me early on.
That's good. That's good. So, over your career, what's your proudest achievement so far? I'm going to say, not.
Well, I guess I am starting to get a lot of fellow LDs or even students who are studying lighting coming up to me and saying I'm doing things differently, or they see my shows as interesting, not off the shelf looks, and that's starting to happen a little bit regularly nowadays, and that's always a nice, cool. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to plagiarize anyone else. I'm not trying to plagiarize myself. Every show has to be different. So when people notice that's I think that would be my proudest achievement. Right. The fact that that's from LDs I genuinely respect, and students who are really very much looking at the industry in every minute detail. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
So outside of shows and outside of your touring requirements and everything, what do you do in your downtime?
I mean, there's a lot of downtime at the moment, isn't there? This COVID's actually made a lot of people have a downtime, which is a blessing and a curse. Being a dad, I've got a 2-year-old son who's chaos at the moment because he's getting bored in the house, but it's good chaos, it's good fun. We're doing lots of arts and crafts. I'm perfecting my soups. I've got my soup game is strong right now. It's not very rock and roll, I guess, but and I'm just getting all those DIY jobs done that I told my wife that I'm too busy to do, and we might get someone in to come and do it. But now I knocked a wall down under the stairs. We put new radiators in. I've just been fine tuning the house and making it ours. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, just having a bit of time away from touring in general was nice. I'm definitely noticing my body thanking me a little bit, and the downtime might be hard to stop. You never know. I might not go back.
There's a danger of that, right? You mentioned some different venues earlier. Obviously, you've toured all across, the UK, Europe, and further afield from that. You've been over here in the States as well. What's the best venue you've ever worked in, if you could single out one?
Best venue. I mean, I like the weird ones. I like the ones that aren't necessarily I like the shows that aren't necessarily in a venue. One that definitely stands out in my mind though is there's a festival, and I don't know if that counts, but it's a festival called Envision Festival, which is in the middle of the Costa Rican rainforest, and that was mental. That was a true experience actually. So the stage was in the middle of a clearing in the rainforest, a natural clearing. They hadn't cleared it, and there was a small pathway through actual rainforest to a beach. It was essentially on the equator. So I was looking after the main stage. I was there for 2 weeks, I think. It was a pretty nice life for a while, where you would do the show, the headliners would finish, they would do the sunrise sets, so they would finish at 5 a.m. in the morning. You finish work, go jump in the sea. It was great. Wow. It was a cool experience.
That's fantastic. That's an awesome thing to get involved.
Not a lot of sleep on that one, but I'll tell you those stories when we're not recording.
In terms of obviously we're in the middle of the Corona lockdown at the moment. If there was one artist or one album that you would, it would be the last thing that you would ever give up in terms of listening to music, who's the one who can help see you through?
Well, based on what I've been listening to in lockdown, there's a band called the Cat Empire, if you've heard of them. They are Australian, funky ska, lots of trumpets, very summery, very barbecue vibe. So they've been on quite a bit. If we've been out eating outside, that comes on. So that, based on what I'm listening to right now, is the Cat Empire, I guess.
Looking back, if you could give some advice to the teenage Tom Campbell, what would that be?
Right, where to start? I guess just don't take life so seriously. Don't take things so personally, and especially especially now when I'm designing for artists, you invest a lot of time in them, and when you part ways, it can be a bummer. So I guess not taking things so personally, not investing so much personal time into things, obviously when needed, I guess, but it's only lights. That's the advice. It's only lights. Lights are the garnish to the show. If it's not, no one's going to die. So, I mean, I take what I do very seriously, and I love it to bits. But I think in the past I've probably taken it too seriously. Fallen out with some people that I probably shouldn't have fallen out with over stupid things. So I guess not taking things so seriously or personally.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. Keeping a perspective to everything.
Absolutely.
So if you were now to have the opportunity to sit down with anybody, could be living, could be dead, and sit down, for a cup of coffee or a glass of whiskey and a cigar, who would that be?
Well, there's so many to choose from, I guess, but I really don't know. This one's a bit of a toughie, I guess. At the moment I'm really obsessing a little bit about ancient Egypt, and there's not a lot we know about that. Especially, I went down the rabbit hole, and it's a conspiracy, but I went down the rabbit hole of how old the Sphinx actually could be because of some water erosion based on the base of it. So I would like to. All right, maybe I'd like to speak to the person who was in charge of carving the Sphinx. How's that?
Right. There we go. That's a brilliant answer.
I wasn't planning on saying that at the start of the sentence.
That's a brilliant answer. No,
Yeah.
Any of the other answers we've had haven't come close to that. So that's
okay. Well, yeah, it's
the architect.
I don't know where it came from. That came from a very weird part of my brain, Mark. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if the timeline we've been told is right, because there's a lot of things that point to it's not. But okay, it's a conspiracy. Like chemtrails and flat Earth. Ooh.
But it's fascinating, everything that they built down there, with the Egyptian Sphinx and everything that's a lot of it, you say, still being discovered. So it's we got to our final question already. The time has gone by so quickly. So we threw in this kind of fun one just to see how people react to it. So the question is here you are sitting at home, and all of a sudden you get a phone call, and it's the Olympic team, it's the British Olympic team, and they're calling you up for service. Now it could be the summer or it could be the winter Olympic team, but they're calling you up for service. Now what sport are they calling you up for?
Well, this year they're not calling us up for anything. So the next year,
well, that's true.
I mean, they've got to give us time to train, I guess. I've recently got really obsessed with archery. Okay. So me and Fran, not so much at the moment, obviously, with the current climate, but we really got into archery, longbow archery, and it's surprisingly freeing. It's very, I think they call it moving meditation, because you're focusing so hard at one thing, you turn the other parts of your brain off, and you might have anxieties about work or whatever. It's fair. I even joked the first time I did it, this is my new therapy, and we've just been going back ever since, and I'm actually surprisingly good at it. Like, I surprise myself, especially when I'm not thinking about it. I can hit that target quite well, which I'm quite happy about. So I guess archery, that is an Olympic sport, right?
Archery, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so I guess that really. I used to play a lot of tennis. I used to coach tennis back before I found theatre and touring and all that sort of stuff. But I would say archery. That's what I'm really enjoying doing at the moment, which is not. And yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it more, actually.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I think that sounds like a solid thing. Try and finding the balance between time on, time off, and being able to have that, finding your relaxation area, your Zen zone, so to speak. Tom, it's been absolutely awesome chatting with you and catching up with you. Thank you so much for finding the time.
Absolutely.
We certainly look forward to seeing you and all of your colleagues at Mirad out on the road again soon with tons of new creative designs.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Mark. It's nice to chat to you. We don't chat as often as we should, so let's do it more often.
That's a good thing that's coming out of the
it really is.
Getting more of the conversations going on. So
yeah.
Stay safe. Tom, once again, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Bye.